Thank you very much for joining us, guys. Just a little technical issue there, but we're going to start all over again. My name is Tolu, and I'm going to be your host for this evening. Okay, we're going to go over some of our webinar outcomes for today. So, I'm going to cover some of the statistics in today's job markets in the UK. I'm going to cover mid-career professionals and our unique challenges, some of the things that really hold us back when we're trying to make that move. I want to talk about skills. I really want to break skills down and see how we can leverage our existing skills and bridge our skills gaps. I'm going to talk about some stats within the skills domain at the moment as well. And I'm going to talk about job searching in 2016. Notice I didn't say 2015 because everything we do now is in anticipation for a great 2016, and I hope you're excited for this. I'll talk a little bit about CVs, look at different types of CVs, and I'll ask you guys how your CV is currently looking. I'll also talk about the internet and your online presence when it comes to your job search strategy. I'll talk about the hidden job market and how you can look for the little gems within the job market right now and really understand how much work is out there for mid-career professionals and how to tap into the hidden job market in the UK right now. And if anybody is here from the US or from any other country, you can just ask me some questions about your own country and the situation in your country, and I'll be happy to address them if I'm aware of the situation in that country right now. Would also talk about confidence. I've spoken to a lot of career professionals, and interviews seem to be a big deal. So we'll definitely talk about that. And I will be talking about the Career Transitioners Group Coaching Program starting in January, and we'll talk about what happens during the group coaching programs and what we do and how you can be a part of it if you want to. And of course, I'll give you a special thank you for just attending today's webinar. So if you stay to the end, to 9 o'clock, you definitely will be getting some gifts from us. So, question for you guys. Is anybody here looking forward to a change in 2016 when it comes to your career? Just type into your text box, is anybody looking to change something during 2016? Fantastic. Fantastic. Can you just type in your text box if you're looking to change career, or if you're looking for a new job, or if you're looking to get promoted? Just one of those three. I want to see what the landscape is in the room right now. I want to know if I'm talking to career changers or career of people who are trying to get a promotion, or if I'm looking at people who are getting a new job. New job, new career. Thank you. Looking for promotion. Great. Promotion. Good. Good. Fantastic. All right. Well, definitely. Somebody just said new husband, and I hope you will get some gems to get a new husband in 2016. We're talking about careers today, though, but thank you very much for all of the people looking for a change next year. And I do hope that you get what you came here for today. So just a couple of housekeeping before we get into the content. Just a couple of housekeeping information before we get in. Firstly, do you have a pen and a paper to hand? Pen and a pad, pen and a piece of paper. Secondly, will you interact with me on this webinar? Because I don't want to be talking to myself. I do want to get feedback from you guys as we go on. And thirdly, hope you have fun, and do ask me any questions at any time. I'll keep the text box open so that I'll see your questions as I talk, And by any point in time, you can ask me any questions whatsoever. And if I see it appropriate, I'll answer your questions. Is that okay with everybody? Just say yes, Tolu. Let's get started. Fantastic. Great. So, 2016. It's going to be a great year for you guys. I'm certain of that. I'm sure of that. I know you guys are looking forward to a great next year. Whether it be getting a new job, getting a new promotion, or getting a new husband, or changing careers altogether. I expect next year to be a great year for you guys. And I hope I can help in any way to make that a great year for you. Let's talk about career transitioners for a second. Who are we? Who are career transitioners? And I use the term career transitioners interchangeably between us as an organization and you as a mid-career transitioner. So I'll say mid-career transitioners are a community of like-minded career professionals who are passionate about bridging the skills gaps and developing their careers. Demographic wise, I believe mid-career professionals are 25 to 45 years old, looking to get promoted, looking to get a new job, or looking to change careers. So, can I just check that everybody here is a mid-career professional? It's okay if you're over 45, and it's okay if you're under 25, but really who we're talking to are the mid-career professionals amongst us. Great. So, mid-career professionals. Firstly, I want to talk about some of the people that we've helped in the recent months. We have CJ, who was looking for a new job, and he had a few issues, and he worked with us for a couple of months, and within a couple of months, he was able to understand his values, get focused on his new job, and get transitioned. He did great, and he was able to get a new role within a few months of just working with us, coaching. We also have Dupe, who looked for work for quite a while. She looked for work for quite a while. She was working on a job she didn't really like at all, and she spent, months, I think almost 9 months, looking to transition. And within a few weeks of working with us, she was able to get job offers, three job offers within just a few weeks of going for interviews. She did do a few interviews, and getting a job that she's going to start in a few weeks. So just a couple of people who we've worked with recently who are making great strides, and I expect that you guys will make great strides in 2016. So let's talk about me. You're probably asking yourself, who is this guy talking to you, and what qualifies him to have this conversation? Well, my name is Tolu Fagbala, full, and I'm the lead coach at Career Transitioners. I'm a loving father. I've got a 6-month-old daughter who is amazing right now. She's starting to stay in a bed for like 25 minutes at a time. Uh, I'm a great trainer. I think I am a great trainer. All my students tell me that I'm a great trainer. I deliver lots of certification training courses, soft skills training courses, and I am an amazing coach. Everybody who has worked with has said that I'm an amazing coach, so I think I am. So, in terms of my career background so far, I am very much a specialist in organizational learning space. I have a MA in communications management. I have an MSc in organizational psychology. I've worked in training and development for 12 years, and I've worked as a career coach for almost 10. So my passion is for learning and development within organizations and for professionals. I made a conscious decision a while ago, 10 years ago now, that my mission was to help professionals progress within their career. My mission was to help people who are within their careers get better and progress within their careers. I don't do children. I always say to my wife and to my friends, I don't teach children, and I have no interest in training sort of fresh school leavers or high school kids or anything like that. My mission is to meet career professionals. Um, and that's my background and that's my career so far. Um, I want to tell you a little bit about my story. I want to tell you a little bit about my story. In 2007, I was right at the point in my career where I was doing great. I was a training manager and I had a lot of accolades from my peers and I was doing a lot of great work. And I realized that I needed to learn IT because I thought IT was going to come and take my job away. So I got interested in e-learning, and I think I got really good, and I got really brave, and I went out to a country called Nigeria to go help do some training infrastructure development for some banks out there, which was great, exciting work. And I spent a few years out there. And then when my contracts ended, I decided to come back to London. And when I came back to London, I assumed that being a mid-career professional, I could literally just walk in to a job. So I had been looking at the job boards from Nigeria, and I'd seen some great jobs out there, out here. I thought I could literally just walk into a job because I'd never been out of a job for more than 2 weeks. But I was shocked. I was shocked because it felt like the world had changed. It felt like I couldn't get an interview, and it felt like I could, in fact, not that it felt like I really could not get an interview for almost a couple of months. And then I decided I was gonna, really, dig deep and try and make sure that I don't spend another month without a job. So I did all I could. I went to the job center. Yes, I did. I signed on for a little bit just to get myself into the system, and because I've been away for a few years. And getting into the system was a very interesting shock for me. I realized that there was no support for people like me. When I went into job centers or anywhere they uh, signposted me to, I realized that they were training me and coaching me and guiding me towards getting entry level jobs. And at this time, I started to get disillusioned. I felt like I definitely didn't want to go back to working in a call center as a customer service officer. And the jobs that I felt that I was able to do just weren't coming. Um, and I started to look for support, and I just couldn't find any. There just didn't seem to be any support for people like me, people that were in the middle of their careers and they were professionals. And um, I wonder if any of you guys can relate to a situation like that. Just to check the feel in the room, can anybody relate to me? Have you ever been to the job center looking for support and realizing that they don't have anything for you? They're telling you to go do entry level jobs or telling you to, yeah, oh, thank you. I can see some hands and some oh yeses. So that's where it was. That's where it was a few years ago. Uh, but I was lucky. I decided to create a job search strategy that I think is what really got me to where I am right now. I would be sharing some of those job search strategies with you later on. Um, when I got when I finally got a job as a trainer with an amazing woman called Joe Glover, she literally told me, Tolu, this is not a training manager job. I was like, yes, I know, but I can make it work. And from that point on, it's been upwards for me within my career, and I'm able to share a lot of my learnings over the last few years, training mid-career professionals in a number of different sectors and a number of different industries. So, just to give you guys an idea of what's happening in the UK job market right now, in the last few years, there's been a resurgence in the employment rate. I wonder if you guys are aware of that. Post the recession, the employment rate has been increasing and the jobs have actually been coming. There's been more jobs now than in a very, very long time. There is right now 73% employment rate and 5.3% unemployment rates in the UK, according to the Office of National Statistics. In July 2015, according to the National Career Service, there was 12,350 jobs that went unfilled due to a skills shortage. 12,350 jobs in the UK, in London alone, sorry, due to a skills shortage. Can you imagine just London in just a couple of sectors, 12,350 jobs due to a skills shortage? In 2015, there was a survey that was carried out by the London Chamber of Commerce that suggested that 58% of recruiting firms have difficulty hiring skilled staff due to a skills shortage. And in the same year, this year, the London Chamber of Commerce again suggested that there were 33% of recruiting firms found it difficult to recruit professionals or managerial staff due to a skills shortage. So it's pretty difficult trying to fill managerial jobs right now. And the recurring theme here is due to a skills shortage. So, one more stat for you guys. Apparently, within England, vacancies are back to pre-recession levels, and employers report a total of 559,000 job vacancies, which is an increase of 45% from 2009, which is pretty good, which tells us there are jobs out there. Do you guys know that? Or do you guys notice that there's an increase in the jobs out there? Firstly, I just want to find out if it's a perception that mid-career professionals have that there are jobs out there. Just say yes or no in your text box if you can for me, please. No, yes, okay. Okay, there seems to be a mixed feeling. Some people think there are no jobs, some people think there are jobs. Fantastic. But the fact is, the numbers don't lie. There are jobs. But what recruiting managers are complaining about is a lack of skills to fill those jobs. So one of the things that we're going to talk about is the concept of the skills shortage. The concept of the skills shortage. What does that really mean? Well, the BBC News report of December last year talks about the skills shortages holding back UK's economic recovery, which is, I think, pretty scary that they think skill shortages are holding back the UK's economic recovery. Mail Online, February this year, said Britain was hit by the worst skills shortage for 30 years. 30 years, the worst skills shortage for 30 years. Wow, that's amazing. And Harvard Business Review, which is they're pretty reliable. Last year talked about employers just whining that the skills gap is real, that they measured the skills gap, and um, employers aren't just whining, that there really is a massive skills gap, and they're not, that organizations are not finding it easy filling the jobs that they require. And I've got a theory about this skills gap issue. I reckon technology has a part to play with the skills gaps. The more technology takes over how we do things, the more skills we as individuals require, and organizations require to perform tasks. So, what are skills? What are skills? Can somebody uh, tell me what they feel or what they think this definition of skills are? Yeah. So, what are skills in your opinion? What are skills? Because we really want to talk about this concept of skills. If the issue here is that there's a skills shortage, there's a skills gap, there's a difference between what people need done and the skills people have, then I think it's interesting that we need to understand, and I think it's important we need to understand what skills are. Here's my take on the concept of skills. Skills A skill is a learned ability to carry out a task with predetermined results, often within a given amount of time, energy, or both. In other words, the abilities that one possesses to do something well. And that's Wikipedia saying this, not me. And what that means, in my opinion, is the ability, the time, the energy to be able to do something well. I think what we learn in school is nowhere near enough to do the jobs that are required in today's world. Don't you guys agree? So, this issue of skills, in my opinion, is a really interesting one because where someone is saying they need certain skills, we as mid-career professionals are finding it difficult to really measure the concept of skills. How do you know what skills you need? And how do you know if you've got the right skills? So, the issue of skills, in my opinion, is a big, big one. It's difficult to measure. You've got the concept of tacit skills. You've got the concept of explicit skills. You've got, skills in terms of the ability to work with new technology. You've got lots of different types of skills that you need to excel in today's competitive job market. And I think we can all agree that skills are certainly not what you have on your certificates. They're certainly not your master's degrees or your bachelor's degrees or what you learned in school. Skills go way beyond that, but they're really subtle in a way that you know when you have them and you know when you don't have them. I'm talking here from the perspective of a hiring manager. So if I'm hiring someone, I know if they've got the skills, I know if they don't have the skills. And the question then becomes, how do we bridge those skills gaps? As difficult as they might be, how do we bridge those skills gaps? Well, there are lots and lots of resources to help bridge skills gaps. And there is the issue of the the job market and the industries that have a massive skills shortage, doing a lot to help people upskill themselves and bridge their skills gaps. We've got the training organizations who, frankly, just want to sell you a course. You've got recruitments, um, uh, organizations who sell you services like CV writing and interview skills and all of that. But how do you really bridge your skills gap? How do you get from where you are right now to where you need to be. Now, there is some support out there for bridging skills gaps and getting people into work, but I found in my research that most of the information, most of the support out there is geared towards young people. It's geared towards young people. It's geared towards graduates. It's geared towards under 24s. In fact, there is a massive careers fair on next week on the 21st of November in Birmingham, in the NEC Arena in Birmingham. The biggest skills fair in the country today. And guess what? It's for young people. Nothing for mid-career professionals, nothing for people like us who don't have time, who don't have money, who don't have the ability to do some internship while we're sleeping on a friend's couch while we're learning new skills. So it's quite interesting to see that quite a lot of help out there, but not a lot seems to be geared towards us. And by us, I mean the mid-career professional, the mid-career professional who is thinking what the next move is in their careers. They've got lots of experience, I'm sure you do. You have challenges that young people will find really difficult to understand. You've got to think about family. You probably have a mortgage. You probably have children. You probably have a social life. You probably are thinking about your health. You probably are thinking about the meaning of life, things that you might have been able to do when you were much younger, like travel around and do some volunteering in another country, for example. You have to think twice about it if you're going to do something like that now. So mid-career professionals are in a really unique space, And I've been speaking to a lot of mid-career professionals. In fact, my most recent research was on the subjective experiences of mid-career professionals whilst they were transitioning. And I found that there were three key things that seem to be a challenge for mid-career professionals when they're transitioning. The three key things that seem to be the biggest challenge to career transitioners when they're transitioning. First is the issue of time. Now, from taking the kids to school to taking going out with friends, to all the things that you spend your time doing, upskilling yourself is probably quite high on your agenda, but certainly not something that will be the easiest thing to do. The issue of money. We talk about professional certifications, for example, and it costs an average of £2,000 to go through a professional certification. Now, it's really interesting to see how many people go through professional certifications and the amount of sacrifice that people have had to endure to get the money put together for those professional certification courses. That's quite expensive. I'm going to talk to you later, guys, about some really interesting ways that you can get bypass that issue and get training for next to nothing. That seems to be a big issue when career transitioners are looking to change careers or get promotions or get a new job. And of course, confidence. Many people I speak to feel that they've got a lot of skills, they've got a lot of experience, but they lack the confidence to be able to leverage those skills and talk about it in a way that allows someone who's hiring believe that they can do what they say they can do. So confidence is a big issue. We'll definitely be talking about confidence and how you can get that confidence to be able to walk into any room with any number of hiring managers and talk convincingly about what you can do and what you can bring to the table. So, can you guys tell me, in your experience, in your opinion, what your biggest challenges are to your career transition? I'd like to hear from each one of you. If you just type in to the text box what your biggest challenges are to your career transition right now. Money, confidence, time. What else? I want more than money, confidence, time. Great. Acquisition of relevant skills. I've already done it all. Okay. So, can you tell me what you mean by I've already done it, Joe? Can you tell me what you mean by I've already done it? Okay. Okay. So, you've gone through the transition, but it took quite a few years. Well done. Fantastic. Great news. Great news. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, absolutely. Skill sets, networks, and confidence. Yeah, absolutely. So I can see that quite a lot of us are relating to these three concepts and these three challenges: the issue of time, the issue of money, and the massive issue of confidence. So one of those things that we've got to do as career transitioners is to think about bridging our skills gaps. It's to think about bridging our skills gaps. Now, when it comes to bridging our skills gaps, there are lots of things we've got to consider. Um, Firstly, we need to identify the thing we want to move into, whether it's a new job, a new career, or a new role. And then we've got to identify our current skills, current skill level. A lot of self-assessment and self-reflection here. And then we've got to identify the skills that we need for the role or the career or the job we want to get into. And of course, we've got to create a plan. We've got to identify the ideal plan to help us get from where we are in terms of our current skill level to where we need to be in terms of future skill level. And I think this is quite important. In my experience, I realized that a lot of people do a lot of different things, but it doesn't seem to get them to their goal. So I see some people would do a course today and a different course tomorrow, and they don't seem to have a lot of alignments, and they don't seem to be driving them towards the goal or the ideal role they're trying to get into. So there doesn't seem to be a plan that's aligning everything. So you want to have a plan that helps you ensure everything you do is in alignment. So when it comes to identifying a new job or a new role, you want to know what that is. Now, this is an interesting process that requires a lot of self-reflection. And when I do some coaching with some mid-career professionals, we talk about eliciting their values, understanding what it is that you would want to do, what it is that drives you, what are your passions, what are your latent skills, what are the things you love doing, uh, what that new role is, what that new job is. And for a second, you have to almost take a step back from the paycheck. It's important to know how much that role pays because you need to make sure it's in line with your goals for the future, but you need to look for the ideal role rather than the ideal paycheck. Of course, you need to know how much the job pays. You need to know which industry it is. You need to know where it's located and why, very importantly, why you want that role. Is it because of how much it pays? Do you really love the work? Is it something that you will see yourself doing in the long term, or is it just a makeshift to soothe your current needs? And it's, of course, if it's not in line with your personal values, it'll be difficult to see yourself in there for very long. There are some stats right now that suggest that 91% of new hires look for a new job within 3 months. So a lot of people who get a new job apparently start to look for a new job within 3 months. So you want to know, this new role I'm getting into, is it the right one for me? So you want to make sure that you understand that fully before planning your transition. You also want to identify the skills for the new job. You also want to identify some skills for the new job. What are the core skills? What are the hard skills? What are the technical skills? And what are the soft or tacit skills required? Do you need some great customer service skills for this role? Do you need some assertiveness skills? Do you need time management skills? Do you need to be able to write code? Do you need to be able to create models? You need to understand what the core skills are for this new role and what the soft skills are for this new role. So I would like you guys, and this is just for me because I'll be the only one that'll see this. I would like you guys to write in your text box, if you would like, the ideal new role, job, or career that you want to move into. I'd like you guys to identify the ideal new role, job, or career you want to move into. Okay, interesting. And okay, great. Fantastic. And do you know the skills, the soft and hard skills required for this new role you want to go into? Do you know the skills required for this new role you want to go into? Great. I'd like you to write it down on your piece of paper, not in the text box. On your piece of paper, not in the text box. Okay, fantastic. And if you don't know, make it an action to find out what the hard technical skills are that this role requires and what the soft tacit skills are that this role requires. That's your first homework. Okay, and then once you know that, you want to identify your current personal skills. You want to identify your current personal skills. This is where you really need to be self-reflective and honest with yourself. Coming from a psychology background, there's something we call psychometrics. The idea that there is some pattern to how we behave. There's some pattern to how we behave. You want to understand what your personality is. There are lots of theories about personality. I'm not a big fan of the trait theory of personality where it says you are introverted or extroverted or sensing or feeling or judging. Not a big fan of that, but I do see how it really helps you understand your own self. You want to understand your personality. You also want to understand your cognitive ability. What are you good at cognitively? What are you good at? Are you mathematically amazing? Do you like numbers? Are you verbally amazing? What are you good at cognitively? You want to do some personality tests that will help you figure that out, because it really would make a difference when it comes to that next move. You want to be matching your skills when you are making that next move. At this time in our careers, guys, and let's be honest with ourselves, at this time in our careers, we want to be doing what we love, not what we have to do. So you want to know what you're good at. Cognitively, you want to know what your personality is. And of course, you want to know how you react to things from an emotional point of view. You want to have an idea of how you are from an emotional point of view. Um, so if you guys are interested, email me and I will give you some links to take some free personality cognitive ability tests. I've got a whole batch of stuff that really is useful and you'll find really interesting. If you're interested in stuff like that, let me know and I'll send you some links. Great, I'll be really interested. Great, I'll send you an email with the links. You also want to know what your transferable job skills are. Well, we're mid-career professionals. We've been working for a while. We know what we've done in the past, and we are able to leverage some of those skills and use them in a variety of different areas. So we want to know what those transferable job skills are. And of course, any direct work experience you have in the new role that you want to go into will be really good. You want to be able to package those and leverage those. So identify your personal skills. You want to do this and you want to be really honest with yourself, because the aim is to ensure that you're moving into a role that you would love, you will enjoy, and you will be excited about. You don't want to move into a role that's a short-term fix. So how do we bridge the gap? How do we bridge the gap? I'm a big fan of having a plan, that helps bridge this gap. And I use a model that's adapted and is proprietary for an amazing NLP trainer called John Cassidy-Rice of NLP Excellence. And it's got this model called the coach model. The coach model is pretty good. And if any of you have been in some coaching with me, you would probably recognize this a little. So I'm just going to go very briefly over the coaching model with you guys. So firstly, you want to understand clarity. You want to get clarity of your goal. This is about getting specific with your short-term goals and mid-term goals. This is getting specific with your short-term goals and mid-term goals. You're going to keep going back and forth until you find what that really is for you. And the purpose of this stage is to ensure that who you are is in line with what you do. Who you are is in line with what you do. That way you can get satisfaction in whatever role that you move into. And when it comes to clarity, it's important that you understand your situation right now and you're prepared to make changes. And one tool that I find really amazing when it comes to making changes is what in NLP we call neurological levels. Firstly, has anybody here not heard of the term NLP before, neuro-linguistic programming? Just type in, never heard of it before. Totally, it's no. Okay, great. So I assume that you've heard of it before at least. Okay, so there's this amazing school of thought that believes that you can model excellence, and there are patterns to the way you think, and the way you think affects the way you behave. So the name comes from neuro, the brain, linguistic, the words that you use, programming. So you can program the way you speak and think, and it affects the way you behave. So when it comes to change or making shifts within your situation, one of the things that I always mention is there are 5 levels. There are 5 levels at which you can make change. At the bottom is at the level of the environment. So if you are in a situation and you move your environment, you can make real quick changes and it solves the issue. The environment, the change at the environment level is not the deepest change, but it works a lot of the time. You can make change at the behavioral level. You can make change at the capability level, your skills. You can make change at the values and beliefs level. You can make change at the identity and the purpose level. We tend not to go to those levels because they're really, really deep. So the best place to start to make change is at the capability level, and then your behaviors change. You're likely able to change your environments really quickly. So you want to understand that change at the capability level is really sort of the best place to be. So you want to look at those skills and figure out how you can improve those skills, and then change comes naturally. The next level within the coach model is options. You want to identify options for change. You want to identify options for change. You want to ask yourself which training courses you want to take. You want to ask yourself, do you need a coach? You want to ask yourself, do I need to shadow somebody at work in the role that I want to move into? And in my opinion, this is one of the best tactics, is to shadow somebody who is currently doing what you want to do, and you're likely to be able to see, feel, touch, and really get into understanding those skills, and you're more likely to feel the confidence that you need to move into that role. So shadowing, if you can, where you are right now, if you can, get shadowing. Look for somebody in the role that you want to get into, and shadow. During our group coaching program, we would use tools like the fishbone diagrammatic technique to identify and help you analyze your options, so you can start to see where you can make the biggest change. So options for change is all about what skills do you need to improve. So when it comes to upskilling, well, training is one of the most natural ways to upskill. Classroom training or online training, great. Accredited, non-accredited, in my opinion, it really doesn't matter. If there is a need, for example, if the industry standard is an accredited training, then definitely go for it. But if there's no industry standard accredited training, then it probably isn't necessary to go for an accredited training. So you want to ask yourself, do I need an accredited training course or not? For example, I was speaking to a client recently, and she wanted to become a training coordinator. She wanted to change careers to be a training coordinator. And she was thinking about doing a course called Prince 2. You might have heard of it. But the course at that point in time wasn't the right one for her. She was probably better off doing something more along the lines of a non-accredited introduction to project management and project support, and then get into project coordinating. And then when she gets more comfortable with the role, she knows that's what she wants to do, get into things like Prince 2. So it's being able to understand what you should be doing at a particular point in time. And yeah, and if she was able to choose the right course at the right time, and not have to feel like the only course right there right now is an accredited training course. And there are lots of free alternative ways to learn online. There are lots and lots of free alternative ways to learn online. My favorite by far is Allison.com. Has anybody heard of Allison.com, Udemy, FutureLearn, Learn Online, Khan Academy, or any other free resource that allows you to take training online, both accredited and non-accredited? Just type in your text box. Have you heard of, yeah, Udemy? Hell yeah, yep. Okay, okay. Yeah, Allison is great. Like, really, Allison is amazing. Still my favorite. There are lots of free courses on Udemy, but some you have to pay for. Some you have to pay for. FutureLearn, there are lots of free courses as well. Learn Online, there are a few free courses. MIT, it's a university. You guys might have heard of MIT in Boston, Massachusetts, one of the biggest universities in the world. They have an open source e-learning platform, and lots of their university courses are actually on there. Same with Khan Academy. Khan Academy has lots of university courses, and there are lots of other free resources as well that you can use to upskill and get learning. Um, and one of the things that we're going to do at Career Transitioners as well is to have a portal where you can log in and take courses as you go along. Absolutely. And also, apparently, you can now pay for just the exam with MIT after doing the free courses online. So if you're thinking of doing a course in MIT, well, great. Go on to MIT, OpenCourseWare, do a course for free, and you can get accredited as well. But for me, the learning is the real key there. So get learning is my message to you guys. You've got to take action though. You've identified some options. You've identified what courses you want to take. You've identified what coaching you want to go on. You've identified what the various options are. You've got a shortlist. Make sure you're strategic, you're in line with your goals, and you've got to take action. You've got to take action. Action is one of the most interesting concepts, and you probably have heard this a lot. So there's this concept of law of attraction. I'm a big believer in the law of attraction. I believe that if you put something out there, you get it back. You're positive, you really will get it back. But I'm also a believer in the law of action. You've got to do something if you're going to make a change. You want to set some clear, specific, measurable, achievable, budgeted, time-bound actions. Budgeted, time-bound actions. So what you want to do is set a clear goal. Make sure it's manageable. Make sure it's within the space of a month. Make sure you're not setting you're setting long-term goals, but make sure you've got short-term actions, an action that you can take within the next few weeks and complete within the next few weeks, and set a budget for that action. I have a budget for my learning that exceeds a few £100. And those of you who know me know that I invest a lot in learning. Um, you don't have to invest hundreds of pounds, but you do want to invest something monthly in the actions that you've set for yourselves to help you transition. So you want to set some budgeted action. And the reason I say something within a month is because most of us get paid monthly. So if you're able to budget per month, you're more likely to get it done rather than budgeting for 3 months at a time. And the month that you've got to pay for something that you would normally not pay for is the month that becomes the hardest. So I'm sure you guys can relate with me on that one. So if you want to make it budgeted monthly, it becomes a pattern, it becomes a habit, you're more likely to get it done. This really is critical to a successful transition. So I'll say take action. Character. Of course, you want to make sure you know what's holding you back. You want to make sure you know what's holding back. What could stop you from taking action? What could help you take action? What could stop you from taking action? What could help you from taking action? You want to be able to identify some of those character traits that can hold you back. Is it someone at work that really gets on your nerves, or is it somebody that can help you be an accountability partner that can help you ensure that you do what you say you would do? And of course, you want to get help and support. You want to get help and support. When it comes to help and support, it's important to be able to figure out where you can get help from, whether it be a mentor or training or family support or anything at all that can help you make those steps or take those steps to success. So that's the coaching model. And if any of you guys decide to come on a group coaching program, we dive deeper into the coaching model. Do you guys have any questions before I move on to job searching? Because I know you guys want to know what I've got to say about job searching in 2016. Do you have any questions about the coaching model? Okay, fantastic. So, job searching in 2016. Well, I think the world has changed. I think it was Les Brown that said, we are in an age of accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. Accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. I think he really got that spot on. We're in an age of amazing change, and things are moving so fast we don't even know what's happening. Now, we're going to talk about CV very briefly because I think the CV is a necessary evil. The CV is a necessary evil. I never look at the CV first when working with someone who's transitioning. I look at the CV after goals have been set, after skills have been identified, after you're well on your way to the role that you want. Then we can start looking at job searching. Then we can start looking at identifying what mode of CV do you need. And I don't know if you guys know, but there are different types of CV, but I usually only see one type. I usually only see the performance CV, which is simply your profile, your skills, and your career summary. Your profile, skills, and career summary. And of course, your education. That's the general style of CV that seems to be prevalent in today's world. We call that the performance CV. That's great if you're trying to get a new job. Not so great if you are looking to change careers. Not so great if you are looking to move into a totally different industry altogether. So the performance CV, great if you have a CV that has your profile very neatly written in the first person, great. If you have skills, a number of skills that the computer that shortlists applications, shortlists CVs can pick up. You want to identify a number of keywords for the industry that you're in, and make sure that your skills match the skills on the job description. That way you will get noticed. You want to make sure your career summary is in a chronological order with the one that's the most recent, and you want to try and make sure there are no gaps. However, if you've got gaps in your CV, or if you've got no experience in the new role that you're trying to get into, or if you've got relatively little in the way of work experience in the new, or you're changing careers, basically. If you're changing careers, you want to look at a different kind of CV. You want to look at the functional CV format, which is not so much about about the career summary, it's very much about your skills. It's very much about highlighting what you can bring to the table. So the functional CV would have your name, your profile, the skills that you have that's relevant, what you have done in the past that required those skills. For example, you can have leading, coaching, and mentoring skills and talk about leadership qualities and the ability to manage challenging behavior effectively. You can talk about communication and excellent written and verbal communications. Talk about your project management skills and briefly talk about your experience. Your experience section is not the focal point, the skills are the focal point. And then identify the training that you've been on, the courses that you've been on that really qualifies you for the new job that you are looking to get. So your functional CV looks different, feels different, and tells a different story to your performance CV. You've also got this targeted CV, which is very much like the functional CV, except you're really targeting a particular audience. You're talking about your abilities. This is really good if you actually have no experience to leverage or not much experience to leverage. Your abilities and your passion for that new role. So it highlights those skills as well. Very briefly, your work history and the training that you've done in the past. So you've got to identify which type of CV is suitable for your situation. So, before I move on, does anybody find that at all interesting? The idea that you should have a different CV format depending on your current situation, depending on if you're changing jobs, if you're getting a promotion, or if you're changing careers. Great, fantastic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Great. Just read an article about it not too long ago, and great. I hope what I've said corroborates what you read in the article. There's lots of information out there at the moment as well. So the next thing you want to consider is your dreaded online presence. Your dreaded online presence. What will come up if I put your name into Google? What will come up if I put your name into Google? Will it show me your Facebook page with you and your friends having a great time? Or will it show me your LinkedIn page with a professional look and fantastic, with a professional look and a very coherent, consistent CV or job history? You do want to have your online presence consistent with who you are and who you're trying to portray when you're in transition, especially when you're in transition. There is a lot of research out there. The fact that 85% of hiring managers use social media to vet candidates before making a job offer. They use social media to vet candidates before making a job offer. And then you've got 35% of employers less likely to hire people who they can't find. So if you don't have an online presence, well, sorry to tell you, but it looks like you've got a 35% less chance of getting hired. And then we've got the fact that 52% of hiring managers would use social media to vet candidates before shortlisting for an interview. So half of them will check you out before they call you in, and most of them will check you out after they've called you in before they make you an offer. So what does your online presence do for your career transition? Does it help you or does it hurt you? So if you can just type in right now into your notepad, help or hurt. Help, help, good, good, good. I see some of you guys have invested in social media. That's good, that's good. Neutral, neutral's good. Help will be much, much better. Fantastic. So you do want to invest in LinkedIn optimization at least. Get your LinkedIn up to date and make it consistent with what you're trying to portray right now. The next thing I want to talk about is your job search strategy. Your job search strategy. Unfortunately, guys, the traditional way to look for jobs are just not enough. You can't get rid of the old way of looking for jobs, the job posts online, your LinkedIn, your Monster, your Reeds, your Indeeds, Fish for Jobs. All those sites are still great, but you've got to look for more contemporary ways to look for jobs during your transition. You want to change your mindsets. You want to change your mindset when it comes to looking for jobs. You want to be looking for jobs as an entrepreneur, not as a job search candidate. You want to be looking to solve organizational problems, and you definitely want to be strategic in your approach. I think there are two ways of searching for jobs. You can search the proactive way, and you can search the reactive way. There is something right now that I want to share with you guys. This is the concept of the hidden job market. It's the concept of the hidden job market. Did you know that 80, and in fact, the most recent research suggests 80 to 85% of jobs are actually not advertised? 80 to 85% of jobs are not advertised. And unfortunately, job boards yield an average of 1% response rate. Yes, Molly, absolutely, really. 80% of jobs are not advertised. 1%, only 1% of job boards yield an average of just 1% response rate. Amazing. Now, the way organizations hire is very different from the way people generally tend to look for jobs. And this model that I've got here really tells the story. So most people will look for jobs starting from the traditional job boards, and then recruitment agencies, and then they'll go for professional organizations. Then they'll think about networking. Then they'll think about contacting existing staff, and then they'll think about going through the organization laterally. Well, I'd like you to flip that triangle upside down and think about it the other way, because employers actually hire the other way around. They tend to start by hiring from within. Most jobs are advertised, if at all, internally first. Some not at all, most not at all, and then contacts from existing staff, then through word of mouth, and then they go through professional organizations, then recruitment agencies, and the last port of call is the traditional job boards and the advertisements. And guess what? Guess what? What's most interesting is that the ones that make it, the 1% that make it, right? Or the 20% of jobs that are advertised are chased by 95% of job seekers, leaving you fighting tooth and nail to get seen. Oh, sorry about the loss of connection, Joe. The webinar will be recorded, so you can always listen back to it later. Okay, so what do we mean by the hidden job market? Firstly, before you think about the fact that I'm asking you to go network, I'm not asking you to go network at all. It's not about networking per se. It's not about networking per se. It's really about looking at where the jobs really are. Here are my recommendations. For me, one of the most effective way of looking for jobs in 2015 right now is by going directly to the organizations you want to work for. If you know the industry, which you would have because we've talked about identifying the job initially, if you know the kind of organization you want to work with, you know the organization's values, you can go directly to the organization with an idea of what you want to do. You don't want to be reactive, waiting for a job to be posted before you start to apply. You're going to be fighting against the tide. You want to be proactive in your job search. You want to be going directly to the organizations that you want to work for. You want to be leveraging on your existing network. You want to be talking to the people who currently work within that organization. I'm sure you can do a Google search to find out who is in charge of certain areas within the organization you want to work for and try to look for them. You can look at an organization you want to work for and look for friends or friends of friends who work for that organization. And as you probably know, ages ago, there used to be this concept of 6 degrees of separation. But now I reckon it's probably just 2 degrees of separation. So you want to look for friends of friends of the organization that work in organizations that you want to work for and try to get connected. You really want to tap into this concept of the hidden job market. You want to start to use the concept of LinkedIn to look for jobs. Every time I make an update on my profile, I get someone asking me if I want to apply for a job or do something or the other. If your LinkedIn profiles are optimized, you really would get a lot of contacts and connection through LinkedIn. LinkedIn is an amazing place for tapping into the hidden job market. It really should be one strategy, just one tactic of yours, just one avenue to tap into the hidden job market. You want to go into places like London Chamber of Commerce. There are lots of networking events that you can join that can give you connections into the area or the industry you want to move into. And one that I really think is amazing, it's more of a long-term transition, is the idea of building expertise in the industry you want to move into. Start to talk authoritatively about the role that you want to move into. Do some research, write some blog posts, and start to build up some credibility. That way, you're more likely to get the call when the hiring manager checks you out online. So, I want to leave some time to talk about a couple more things, and then I'll see if you guys have any questions. The next thing I want to talk about is the concept of the interview. The concept of the interview, the dreaded interview. The interview, once you've got through the initial application and you've got shortlisted and you got called up and you get called up, you want to make sure you understand the organization's interview approach. How will they be interviewing you? Will it be a panel interview? Will it be an assessment center? Will it be just one-on-one? How will they be interviewing you? And of course, I'm sure you already know, you're mid-career professionals. You know that you've got to research the company ahead of time. I think you should take it one step further. I think you should research the hiring manager as well. They're going to check you out on LinkedIn. Why don't you reverse engineer and you check them out on LinkedIn? Find out what they're all about, what their career history to date is. Understand what their approach is likely to be. Then you can start to own and feel more confident about the interview. You want to practice. There's no better way to prepare for an interview than practice interview questions. There are a couple of different types of interviews. There's the behavioral interview questions and the competency-based interview question types. You want to prepare for both. There are lots of resources that will give you an idea of the kind of questions you can expect to get asked. Prepare by getting someone to listen to you whilst you practice your questions. You also want to prepare for your competency-based interviews. The good old STAR technique is always amazing, and you probably will spend £100 or so on a interview skills training course, and all they're going to teach you is STAR. Well, guess what? I'll teach you STAR for free. Join our group coaching sessions. We'll definitely go through interview skills training and interview skills answering techniques. So you want to identify the best way to answer interview questions and prepare for them effectively. And of course, you want to stand out from the crowd. You want to stand out from the crowd. You want to know your competition. Know who is likely to apply for the jobs that you are going for. You want to know what the general audience will be, and you want to make sure that you are prepared with a lot of your transferable skills to hand, so that when you're talking about the job and your experience and what you can bring to the table, you're smashing the interview. So lots of knowledge and lots of your experience will shine through when you're going through that interview. You want to own the interview, and you want to treat the hiring manager as a person and not just a scary person or a scary thing that's asking you questions. So, brings me to the question of confidence. Well, you can't ace your interview without having confidence. I think everybody can agree with me on that one. You can't ace your interview without having confidence. To get confidence, you've got to start off by, of course, preparing. When you're at the interview, you want to take charge of your interview. You want to ask relevant, intelligent questions. Ask them questions about their growth plans. Ask them questions about what the expectations for the role entails. Ask them questions that make you sound like you're there to solve a problem. Ask them what their biggest challenges are for that particular role. And that way, you build your confidence, they smile, they give you nods, and you're much more likely to have a relationship that means they hire you. Guess what? Being qualified for a job doesn't give you the job. And I'm sure you guys know that and you've heard that before. Relationships is what gives you the nod. So did some research recently, and it suggests the most the highest predictor of job performance is the interview. And they did further research to ask what type of interviews do hiring managers feel is the most effective form of interviews. And the hiring managers went for the semi-structured interviews. And they drilled down into the semi-structured interviews, and they asked them what tells you who to hire. And guess what? About 60% of the respondents said intuition. They had no numeric or objective reason why they hired that person. They just felt a connection. So people hire people. Build a relationship, be assertive, be calm, and you will be fine. So, I have to tell you one thing, guys. Yeah, somebody just mentioned just now that people hire people in their own likeness, and I agree. It's more about, in my opinion, I think people hire people in their own likeness from a emotional or psychological point of view rather than anything else. If you can find a connection with the person you're speaking to, you're more likely to be able to build a relationship and get to see the likeness in them. Okay. Has anybody here heard of Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? Yes? Fantastic. Great. Now, I think there are 7 habits of highly successful transitioners. There are 7 habits of highly successful transitioners. And I would like you guys to take your pens out and write this down because I think they're really, really amazing. Firstly, people who successfully transition plan their career transition. I'll say plan your career transition. Secondly, you want to consider your current situation. Don't take it for granted. Don't jump out the window thinking that you're going to fly. You want to consider your family commitment and your current situation. Let it be a strength and not a weakness. Let it help you and not hurt you. Third, you want to consider your passion, skills, and personality. Leverage your passion, skills, and personality. And then you want to brand yourself as an expert in your own career. You want to brand yourself as an expert in your own career. And thirdly, fifth or sixth rather, you want to change the way you look at your career, and the way your career looks will change. Change the way you look at your career, and the way your career looks will change. And finally, you want to continually learn and grow. Okay, so if you guys want these 7 habits of highly successful transitioners, you can click the camera icon on the top right corner of your screen, and it can take a screenshot for you, and you can have that to hand. Okay. Do you guys have any questions for me so far? All right. Great. What's the question? Would it be okay if I talk for a couple of minutes about the career transitioners group coaching? Will it be okay if I talk for a few minutes about career transitioners group coaching? So we are going to have a 4-week program in January, from the 10th of January to the 31st of January. And it'll be 2 hours each week. That's 2 hours every Saturday morning from the 10th of January to the 31st of January. And I would like you guys to come. I would like you guys to come. Thank you very much, Natalie. Very interesting. Okay. For everybody who's come today, and I think there are a lot of people here, so I'm probably going to need help. For everybody who's come here today, I've got a gift for you. For everybody who's come today, I've got a gift for you. The fact that you stayed to the end is, I'll say, really amazing, and I'm really happy, and thank you so much. I would like to give you or offer you free 1-hour coaching, one-on-one with me, no strings attached, whether you choose to come to the group coaching or not. And my one-on-one coaching packages are £100. So it's like I'm giving you £100 right now just for turning up today. In addition to that, I would like to offer to review your CV free of charge. Look at your CV, give you a real good shakedown of your CV, help you ensure that you've got everything you need in it, a good thorough review of your CV. So if you want to claim your bonus, I'd like you to send me an email, tolu@careertransitioners.com or tolu@gmail.com. Oh, sorry, tfagbola@gmail.com. That's F for Freddy, AGBOLA @gmail.com, claiming your bonus. All you want to say in the title is free one-on-one coaching from webinar. So that's my free gift to you, everybody who's come. So for you guys that will turn up in January or will sign up in January, I've got an amazing treat for you guys. Bonus for everybody who attends the group coaching in January. All of the above freebies. So you get a free 1-hour coaching session with me, free CV review. I'll give you a free skills gap analysis report, and that's normally worth £75. Give you a free LinkedIn review, and because you guys have been amazing today, I'll actually do a free LinkedIn optimization for you. I'll get some of my developers on it immediately as soon as you sign up, and give you a free interview skills training worth £199. Free personality report, which ranges from 49 all the way to hundreds of pounds. Free personality report and an extra one-on-one coaching session. So not only would you get 4 group coaching sessions in the month of January, you will get 2 1-hour sessions with me. You will get your CV done. You will get your LinkedIn done. You will get interview skills training. You will get a personality report and a free skills gap analysis report. So you're probably wondering, how much does it cost? Well, it's less than lunch on a Saturday afternoon if we break it down. Normally, we charge £397 for the group coaching sessions, but today and today only, we are selling for a crazy one-time only price of £198, which is less than £25 per hour. So if you go get coaching somewhere else, you'll probably get charged, I don't know, £75, £100 an hour, depending on the coach you get. Plus, you don't get the accountability of having a partner. Plus, you're getting 2 extra free hours as well, and you're getting your CV done. You're getting LinkedIn review, LinkedIn review and optimization, personality test, skills gaps analysis. I think it's a bargain. What do you guys think? Okay, so if you want to get this amazing offer for today only, just click the link below. Copy the link below. Copy the link below. Because you guys are in a webinar, you will not be able to click. Just copy the link below. It's careertransitioners.com. That's our website. /webinar-offer. Absolutely. Thanks, buddy. Buddy says sounds fair. careertransitioners.com /webinar offer. And if you go there right now, I've got an extra surprise for you. If you go get that offer today, I'll get an extra surprise for you. So what do you get? Well, firstly, I'm all about results. You get results. You're looking to transition. You want to move from where you are right now to a new career, a new job, a new role, a promotion. It's all about looking at the goal and helping you get there. You get a very clear career goal, an actionable plan, an accountability partner, making sure that you have somebody who will ensure that you take the action you say you will take, which will ensure that you get the results you set yourself. You will get a lot of confidence to ace any interview. And of course, you get all the skills you need to get the job that you want. Plus, you get your CV and cover letter done. email, phone support right throughout your transition. So anytime from the point that you start till the point that you get a new job or new role, new career, new business, because somebody said they want to start a new business, you get support any time of the day. So that's what you get. I'll say enter the link below, and I look forward to seeing you on a group coaching program in January. It's been an amazing evening with you guys. Does anybody have any questions for me before we close? Does anybody have any questions for me before we close? Does anybody have any questions for me before we close? Great offer, thank you. Thank you. Is your LinkedIn review only in the program? The LinkedIn review is in the coaching program, but it's not just a review of your LinkedIn page. It's an optimization. Will help you optimize your LinkedIn page as well when you're doing the program. Any other questions? Great. Thank you very much, guys. It's been amazing hanging out with you this evening. And I hope to see you on our group coaching program or on any other webinars that we do. Thanks so much. I will definitely see you soon. Have a lovely, lovely Christmas, and see you in the new year, guys. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks, Molly. Thanks, Jean. Thanks, Buddy. Thanks, Joe. Thank you, everybody, and I'll see you in the new year.